Here we are studying chapter number 2, that is nutrition in animals. Okay, so in the previous lectures we have discussed about what is nutrition, what are the various methods of nutrition. Then in the last lecture we studied about human digestive system. Let's recall it. Human digestive system is known as an alimentary canal which starts from the mouth or buccal cavity and ends with anus. Okay, the organs which are involved in the alimentary canal are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine ends with anus, and large intestine ends with rectum and anus. So these are the 6 organs which are involved or which are there in the digestive system. There are 3 associated glands, okay, which secrete some juices which digest the food. These are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. So let's see what happens in the digestive system. As we take the food with the help of our hands in the mouth there are 32 teeth and 1 tongue is there. The teeth chew the food and tongue mixes the food with saliva. It also tastes the food. Here the saliva have some enzyme, digestive juices, which digest the starch present in the food and convert it into sugar. Now the food enters into esophagus. Esophagus is just a pipe-like structure which connects the mouth to the stomach. Now with the help of wall of esophagus, the food reaches to the stomach. In the stomach the food churns. Stomach is J-shaped organ, okay, and it is the widest part of our alimentary canal. In the stomach the food remains for 2 to 3 hours. Okay, the inner wall of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juice. The mucus protects the wall of stomach from the digestion. The hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria which enters along with our food, and it also provides the acidic medium for digestive juice to work. Digestive juices convert the proteins into simpler substances. Now food enters into small intestine. Though the name is small intestine, but it is having the length of 7.5 meters and it is very much coiled organ. In the small intestine it receives secretions from 2 glands, that is from liver and pancreas, and it also secretes its own secretion, that is known as intestinal juice. Liver produces bile juice. Liver is brownish red in color and it produces bile juice. Bile juice acts on fats. Then pancreas produces pancreatic juice, and pancreatic juice work on the carbohydrates, proteins and fats, and they are converted into simpler substances. Now the food reaches to the lower part of the intestine where small intestine produces intestinal juice, which will finally digest all the components of the food, that is carbohydrates are converted into sugar like glucose, proteins into amino acids and fats into fatty acids and glycerols. Now the next step is absorption. In the small intestine there are thousands of finger-like outgrowths which are known as villi. This villi increases the surface area for for the absorption of food. Now this food by the blood vessels goes to various organs. Okay, and these organs, the cells, will use this food, and this is known as assimilation. After that, the undigested food from the small intestine moves to large intestine. In the large intestine, this undigested food, from this undigested food, various salts and water is absorbed. Now, this food or waste material is stored in the rectum, and it is known as feces. Now it will remove from the organ known as anus, and this process is known as egestion. So this is all about digestion in human beings. Now today we are going to study about digestion in grass-eating animals. We know that grass-eating animals are known as herbivores, and herbivores have 4 parts or chambers in their stomach. So whenever they eat the grass, they eat them and they swallow the grass quickly, and this swallowed grass will remain in the chamber known as rumen, right? So these animals swallow the grass quickly and store in a part of stomach known as rumen. Now from the rumen, in the rumen the food is partially digested, means only some components of food are digested in rumen, and now the food is known as curd, C-U-D, curd, right? Now this curd from the rumen again bring back to the mouth in the form of lumps, okay, and then animal chew this curd again. So chewing of the curd again is known as rumination. Here you can see curd return to mouth for chewing again. This process is known as rumination. You might have seen some cattle like cow, buffalo. When they are sitting under the tree, they are just chewing the food. And we were surprised that where the food is. Here there is no grass. Then also the cow or buffalo is chewing something. But it is nothing but a curd which it brings back from the rumen. Right? So these animals which chew the curd, which have the capacity to bring back the chewed food, these are known as ruminants. Okay? These are known as ruminants. These ruminants eat grass. And as we know, grass contains a lot of cellulose, a type of carbohydrates. They can digest these carbohydrates because of presence of bacteria. Okay, so they can digest the cellulose because of presence of bacteria. Okay, so these bacteria are present in a large sac-like structure, means bag-like structure known as cecum, right? So in this bag-like structure, many animals like horse and rabbits have this bag-like structures, okay, and this is located in between the esophagus and small intestine. Okay, these are having the bacteria which help in the digestion of cellulose. But we humans do not have this bacteria, and that's why we cannot digest the cellulose. Right? So this is about the digestion in grass eating animals. Now let's move towards the digestion in unicellular organisms. Unicellular means, uni means single, cellular means cell. means the organism which are made up of only one cell are known as unicellular organisms, right? So they do not have mouth. Then how do they eat the food? Okay, how they digest the food? They do not have stomach or small intestine, right? So let's see what happens in it. Here we are taking an example of amoeba. Amoeba is an organism which is made up of only one cell. So amoeba is microscopic unicellular organism. Microscopic means we cannot see through our naked eyes. We have to see it under the microscope. So amoeba is microscopic unicellular organism found in pond water. Okay, generally we found it in pond water. Okay, it has cell membrane, nucleus and many bubbles like vacuoles in cytoplasm. As I told you in the first chapter that any organism is made up of cell, and a cell contains three main things, that is a nucleus in the center, the border that is cell membrane, and the jelly-like structure in between the nucleus and cell membrane, that is known as cytoplasm. So this amoeba is also having cell membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm, but in cytoplasm it has many bubble-like structure known as vacuoles. Okay, so these vacuoles help in engulfing and digesting the food, right? Now amoeba is an organism which can change its shape and its position continuously. Means amoeba does not have any proper shape. It can change its shape and position continuously. For that it has the structure which are known as pseudopodia. So amoeba pushes out small finger-like projections known as pseudopodia. Okay, pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. Podium means feet. Means to change its structure. Okay, as I told you that amoeba can change its shape. So to change its shape or structure, amoeba pushes out its false feet. As well as for movement also, amoeba pushes out the finger-like outgrowths known as pseudopodia. Now, how feeding or digestion occurs in amoeba? So what happens when amoeba senses the food? For example, this is a structure of amoeba. Here you can see the food particle. Okay, it takes the food which is there in pond water. It is very microscopic, right? So when it senses the food particle, okay, it will pushes out the false feet known as pseudopodia. So you can here see that it senses the food particle and now it pushes out small finger-like projection known as pseudopodia. Okay, so this pseudopodia will engulf the food, means will cover the food. Now pseudopodia will join at the other end, as you can see here. Okay, so at other end it will join and it will form a food vacuole. Now in the food vacuole, this pseudopodia, now in this food vacuole, the food get digested because food vacuole contains digestive juices. Okay, so as the food get digested, this food is absorbed by amoeba and then it is used in the maintenance of amoeba. Amoeba also uses this food for movement. okay, as energy, right? Now the undigested food will again be removed out from this food vacuole, okay? So in amoeba, the food is getting inside the amoeba with the help of pseudopodia. In food vacuoles, there are digestive juices which digest the food. Then this digested food absorbed by amoeba and it is used for various activities as energy, and it is also used for maintenance of amoeba. And undigested food will be removed out through these vacuoles. So in all the animals, the process of digestion is same, right? But for these animals, for different animals, the different organs are there. Okay? So this is all about our chapter number 2, that is nutrition in animals. In our next lecture, we will start chapter number 3. Till then, be at home, be safe. Thank you.